Welcome to STI A1123 Programming 2. So today I would like to share with you a simple graphical user application that imitate the use of basic database operation. So in this application we are going to store three information regarding food. So the information that we're going to use is food name, food price, and also food location. Food name and food price we use text field, and for food location we use combo box. There are four buttons: add data, delete data, update data, and search data. All the data that user enter from these three input will be added into this JTable. For example, if I add the following data for food, RM50 for nasi lemak, location at Petronas. Press add button and you can see that this table will contain the food information nasi lemak, and if we enter another information, bihun soup, RM3, location at, let's say, Kachi. Press add button and you can see that the second data is here. You can also delete the data. For example, if you like to delete this bihun soup, you can press this delete button and a dialog will pop up to confirm, do you want to delete this data. If you press yes, the data will be deleted. Let's say we add another data. Put mee goreng, RM2.50 or RM3. Location is at add. So I would like to update this information. The price for nasi lemak now RM2. Press the update button so you can see the price of nasi lemak now is RM2. Or if you like to change the location to Kachi, and you can see now the food location now change to Kachi. The last operation is search. You can search for example, nasi lemak. It will return found for nasi lemak. If you search for mee goreng, it will return found and display the data back on in this text field. So how this application function? We look at the source code and the design. We always start with the design. So the design of this application is just a simple design. We divided this into three sections. The first section is input, where it contains inside a panel. So here we set a panel as an edge border to make it look like this. Input text for text food, call JText food name. Input for price, JText food price. and for J combo box called JCB food location. There are 4 buttons here: J button 1, J button 2, J button 3, J button 4, and the last one, JTable 2, that will contain all the data that user enter. This application uses a class named food. So inside this class food, we store just 3 information: string, food name, food location, that basically store the food, the variable that will store food name and food location, and double food price that will store food price. There's one constructor here that will accept food name, food price, food location and food price whenever new object is created. Coming back to Java frame, so we started with the definition of our variable. So here I use this object ArrayList. So for object ArrayList, the type we use here is food, based on the class that we develop, based on this food.java, and the object for the ArrayList is foodList. There are 1 string array here. This is for header, so this is for JTable header: food name, food price and food location. For the table, the content of the table hold by default data table object DTM, and there are row and column that later we're going to use to get the data information from the table and also from the food list. So the initialization of the component, we define the food list, define the data table with the header. Okay, so it will allow for our table to have this header, and our table name is JTable2. Set the model to the DTM object, and this will allow our interface to set to the center screen. The first operation is add operation, so just click and select the event, and in this case we choose action perform J button. So this is the method that we use. This is all the operation that we use for the J button 1 to save the data. The first operation is to get the information from our input. So there are 3 information that we like to get: food name, food price and food location. Food name type string, can easily get from the JText food name. Food price, we need to convert to pass double from the JText food price. And for food location, we can get from JCB food location, our combo box, using get selected item to string. To use food list, you can just simply call method add, and the object for food, new food with all the 3 information for the constructor to store these 3 information. For the data model, we need to reset for every display. So to reset the data model, we set the row count to 0. To populate our table with data model, we use the following: for loop. The for loop basically will look for our food list, the size of the food list, and then we define an object to add to the DTM. Remember, this is just for the data model to enable our table to store the information. It's nothing to do with the object that we define inside our food list. So inside data model loop, we get the information using food list.get the location, the index, food name, food price, and food location. So this is our table content. So we have 3 table information: food name, data, food price, and food log. So for every row, we need to add data model with the row for object. Alright, so that is for add operation. There's one additional method here. This is just to clear the field so that whenever we add new information to our table, it will reset back our field with request focus for the food name. Means that it will go directly to the food name for the cursor, easy for us to enter. Empty set text, empty for the food name, empty for the food price, and set the default for our combo box back to index 0, so that we can have the following. Okay, we use sum, food price 2 ringgit 50 cents, location, and then when we press add button, it will populate our table with the content from our array list. And we add the second data. DTM will be flushed and repopulate with the data from array list. This part is very important to understand. Add to array list with the object, because food list we declare as a global object, so we can add. However, for DTM, this is for our table. We need to reset and then repopulate with the content from our food list object array. That is for add operation. For delete operation, so this is delete operation. So for delete operation, we use a dialog called show confirm dialog. Delete this data. So if you like to delete, you need to delete the data model with remove row. Since I set the row, whenever we click on our table, it will store the row ID. So that's why it is easy for this delete operation to be performed, because we implement the row selection. And remove from food list, okay, we just use food list.remove the object food inside our food list, and then reset again table, reset table, and populate again with And then clear field, because we delete the data, so we need to clear back the field with the new data information. So when I selected this is row, and then when I press this delete button, it will basically remove that particular row and repopulate our table back again with this. For update operation, we just update our food list by getting the row from our table. So 3 information that we like to update: food name, food price, and food location. And then food list get row. This is to update with the new information for our food list. Here again, you can see I keep on repeating the same things: reset table and repopulate. Okay, so that's why if I add more information, let's say CNB add. So if I would like to update the information here, RM2.50 update, so it will update with the new information based on the new information provided. So we just update the food list content object: food name, food price, food location, with these 3 new data, and then repopulate again our table. So every time we updated our food list, we delete, update, we need to repopulate our table. This is the way. And finally, for search operation, will use show input dialog with text. Okay, that's why you get this. This is this. Okay, shows food name, and then inside here, what I'm doing is based on a simple search operation from our food list, array list. Okay, so we loop our food list and get the size of food list. So we loop each content of the object array list, get the food name, compare that with input that we get from user. If found, we use the show message dialog, found, food name, food list, and then we display this 3 information back to our input content here. So for example, I'm searching for laksa, so if found, it will basically put laksa information back here. Press OK, found, now laksa back here with the food location for the combo box TMB. And finally, for the table, whenever we click on the table, it based on the mouse click event. So mouse click event basically allow us to get column and row. So whenever I click on this, you can see that the content here changes. That basically implemented by this method operation. So you get JText food name, JText food price, get the data model, value at row 0 and 1, because we have 3 column here, and then this is our column 0, 1, 2 with the same row selected. And then this is for combo box, because we cannot easily just set text with our combo box. We need to do some operation so that the combo box will be displayed based on the selected text that we get from our array list here location. It compare with this location, and that's it. That basically how this application works. It is not a full database application. It basically this shows how actually we deals with database and table, and normally we need to request our database to get the data and put it into our array list, and we do our manipulation based on that array list. And with that, I think you should be able to download the application from the description below, and that's all. Thank you very much.